It's funny you bring it up. I don't know if you remember Bryson Lee. He's our quarterback. He was at Idaho. He's recruited. He was probably undersized for the Big Ten. He's quarterback out there. He's such a good kid, man.
Mm-hmm.
We went through our growth, but we were on the same page, quarterback on the same page. I'm like, dude, I call you, I email you, I text you. I was like, you're a good kid. You never disrespect me. But he's like, you never respond to me, man. Not in a timely manner. He's like, just Snapchat me. Just like that's what because dude, it's crazy. They immediately respond to that nonsense, man. But I'm doing that now.
I got 2 kids. I got my buddy in Chicago is the worst phone person in the world.
Right.
Literally might not call you back for months.
Right.
Okay. And then we got a kid in here that's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't gonna respond to you ever.
Right.
You can see him be like, "Did you see that?" Well, yeah, I saw that. Okay, so listen, man. And I had to tell him, listen, man. If I send you a text message and there's an action required behind it, you better acknowledge that action.
Right.
But we're gonna have a problem.
Right.
But that goes back to no BS, right? Like I'm a no BS type of dude. I'm not gonna give you something that's fruity that I'm just trying to get you to do.
Right.
It's gonna have meat to it.
Right.
So the other day I said, hey, I need you to stop by my office. I got a recruit in here. I'd like you just to tell your story in 1 minute.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Showed up like 3 minutes later, told the story and left.
So be use it, but be selective with it.
So that goes back to the 7 to 10.
Right.
After 10, they're done.
Right.
Because now it becomes a criticism thing.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'll do, like if it's a major, then I know I'm sending it out.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a minor, I put it over here to see if it makes the list of 7. Because in special teams, I only have 3.
Right.
So like over here, but if it's D-line, I'm close to D-line, wide receivers, whatever. They get 7. I try to stay 7 or less is what I really do. 10 is like, but it better be, and they're all going to be different. Right. I'm not going to send 3 plays with the same mistake. Mm-hmm. I may say the one play and say, hey, this occurred 3 times.
Right.
Get this fixed.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But I'm never going to send redundancy because the less they look at it, the more they get. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because you'll see, like, in Huddle, you can go back and look at every time they looked at it.
They're logged in, yep.
You can go right there and be like, this dude watched this play 25 times.
So that's the thing, too. I know they're engaged for that reason. You know what I mean? I can tell I have good kids that are engaged. It's just like reaching. Part of it may just be maturity, man. Like we're just young. Like most of our team, like I found out this year, every junior I had is a sophomore age. They all have the same, they had a cumulative birthday party. So this year, part of the reason I was beating my head against the wall, because I had freshmen, I had sophomores, I had juniors who should be sophomores, and then a senior group that it was not. These are my kids. You know how it is in college, and these are kids I inherited. Now they've been in the system for 3 years, but you still, when they're under fire, for lack of better terms, you still realize they're not your kids, if that makes sense.
But that comes back to you understanding what you got, right? And this is what I was going to say, and this is something that I've figured out in this day and age, right? You're the head coach, so you drive the bus,
right?
Okay. Until I'm the head coach, I can't drive the bus, so I have to influence. Okay, I'll be the first one to say, I suck at political influence.
Sure.
Okay, so like I know who the leaders are on our team. There's one.
Right.
Okay, and he can't lead because he's a sophomore specialist. Everybody else is good at leadership. Okay, I got like probably 7 guys that are good. But notice what I said. There's one leader on the team.
Right.
Normally you have 2 to 3. Sometimes you guys may, like out in New Hampshire, we had like 10. But that's because the head coach recruits them.
Right.
Okay. When I was at Ohio State watching practice, they probably got 30 on that team. Because that's what...
Urban, he said it. That's the first thing he talked to the coach. He'd be like, are you the best leader on the team? Yeah. He's just not recruiting because he could, right?
100%, right?
Yeah.
But he had like 30. That's why they're so successful. Because he had 2 or 3 at every position.
So I'm listening to you. You believe a leader. It's like I have a kid who's a leader. That doesn't mean he's a good leader. But you got to think.
So here's what I'm going to say. So you got, if you read my article, you know, like there's basically you got a superstar who can lead anything.
Right.
There's a superstar in this building right down the hallway, a nutritionist. I could put him in charge of anything. He's going to be successful.
Right.
If I give him the right guidance. He's young. He's 25, 26. Right. There was a 23-year-old nutritionist here. She's one of the best people I've ever seen. And then our gymnastics coach is incredible. So, because I do the Executive Leadership Academy for the athletic department, I've tested. They all went through the stations.
Oh, did they
So I got to
really?
evaluate everybody that applied for the Leadership Academy. And like I could take Kayla right now and make her an AD in 2 years. If you gave her to me for 2 years and you allowed me to give her the jobs that she needed to be stationed to understand what she needed in athletics, I could make her an athletic director at 25.
Because she got the it.
She has the it.
Yep.
And you can't, like I tell everybody, like you can sit there and try to make the it, but it's not makeable.
Right.
Because you need the guy that has the tangible people skills.
No matter what age or...
No matter what, right? Like I bring in my 4-year-old right now, you be like, whoa. Like it's like, and my 8-year-old, really smart, a lot like I was, super playful, everything's a joke, right? Unlimited energy. He ain't like the 4-year-old.
Right.
And the 6-year-old got some autism. The 4-year-old and the 6-year-old are better than the 8-year-old at like just understanding what's going on. But the 4-year-old is a savage.
Right. It sounds like I got a 5-year-old. It kind of sounds similar,
but
man.
it's so. I told my wife that we may try to get him a TV show this summer, which is bananas.
Oh, really?
Because like when I tell you, like everything that comes out of his mouth is like, it's almost like Sheldon. You seen that movie Young Sheldon, the TV show Young Sheldon?
I'm not a big TV.
It's kind of like that.
Right.
Like, what did he say? You're like, all right. Like he got a buddy in class, Neil. He takes care of Neil. Neil don't talk.
Right.
So Xavier is his, like that's his guy. So Xavier goes to speech therapy yesterday. My wife says Neil is just waking up from a nap. Xavier leans over, pats him on the shoulder, says, "Hey Neil, I'll be back in a little bit. Don't worry, I'll be right back." Gets his hat, puts his hat in the corner, leaves. Gives Neil a little wave, goes out the door. He said, "Mom, we gotta hurry up and get back. Neil's waiting on me."
It's crazy.
Goes to speech therapy. Get back to class. He walks right over to Neil. He said, "Yeah, I told you I was coming back." They sit down next to each other and away they go on their day.
That's crazy, man.
The first day Neil came to the class, so he's in the 4-year-old class. Neil's maybe 2 months younger. Xavier told the teacher, "Don't worry, I take care of him." She said, "We were watching to see what was going to happen." She said, "Xavier led him around all day. All right, Neil, come with me. Put your tray right here." She said every now and then Neil would lean over and whisper in Xavier's ear. They'd get up and they'd go do something.
That's crazy, man.
But like, he got it, right? Like at 4.
Yeah.
8-year-old don't have it. 6-year-old got some autism. He the most functional dude in the house. He see you do something once. We opened the sliding glass door, pulled the stick out, flipped the lever, opened the door.
He got it.
Like the next morning, "I'm going outside, Dad." "Where you going?" He's outside the backyard. Oh my.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But the oldest one still learning to tie his shoes in 2nd grade.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying to you, right? Like, I think all too often, I know, like, you get caught up in what makes you comfortable.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you won't put the person in charge that can have the most effect.
Here's interesting. I think I recognized that he had the most, because he is younger. He's one of my juniors that should be a sophomore. And
Is he playing?
Oh yeah, he's been playing since he's freshman.
Okay, no. Because I'm just saying, like, the problem that you have sometimes is the guy with it isn't playing.
No, he's the best athlete on the team. Like,
Okay.
he's the alpha. We joke, we call him the alpha all the time. And I tried to rein him in. He's actually been here. That's why I'm sure you had to check in. But I said, we actually made him captain for one day, and he screwed it up like within 15 minutes.
Okay, so how did he screw it up?
Trying to remember exactly. I knew you were going to ask that. It was like late to practice. Just something like
Okay.
you know.
Okay,
like
so let me ask you this: did you sit down with him for an hour
I don't think so.
and lay out exactly what it means? Because here's what I don't like to do:
Yeah.
I don't have captains on my team.
Right.
Because when you fire a captain, it has ramifications.
Sure.
When you take the leadership title off a dude, it don't have no ramifications.
Right.
Like you're the leader.
Right.
You're a leader, right?
Right.
Like we have 14 of them here.
Right.
Right? Some guys have been bumped out of the room and some guys have been added to the room, but it's roughly 14 guys.
Mm-hmm.
If I move somebody up or down the food chain, I don't even say nothing. Like we got somebody that we basically took off the food chain.
Right.
No one said anything because it's just a leader.
Right.
They know that his influence has been mitigated. But like, I'm not driving the bus, so I don't make a big deal of it.
Mm-hmm.
I do it in the background. I know who the 2 guys driving the bus are right now. We got 4 captains. I know who's driving the bus.
Right.
I go to one of the 2 guys and say, hey man, this is what I need.
Right.
And so far it's been, and I'm not gonna take any credit for this, because what we're doing is crazy. But it's been working.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah,
but
sure.
like, one of the things that I tell people, when you put that dude in charge, you better have it laid out for him, because 90% of the time they don't know what they're supposed to do. And so
I did, but probably in hindsight, probably not as in detail as I should have. You know what I mean?
And so, like, I'll give you an example. Like, I was assistant officer in charge of a SEAL platoon.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to Blackwater.
Mm-hmm.
Blackwater, I live 25 minutes from the base. Blackwater is exactly 58 miles from the base.
Mm-hmm.
It's 25 minutes down the road. I got a girlfriend that lives right behind Blackwater.
Mm-hmm.
I leave. We're supposed to be there at 8. I leave my house at 6 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
just in case there's any problems.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot find the road, the driveway to get to Blackwater.
It's all hidden. Yeah, it's all hidden.
I couldn't find it.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped. I asked everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I had the directions that said immediately after the state line, turn right.
Mm-hmm.
I went back. It was dry. I turned on every immediately after.
Mm-hmm.
It was not immediately after. It was like the 5th one. But I drove down those first 4.
So you figured it out.
I showed up at 8:05.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so my boss, who was a complete stark raving lunatic, bad leader,
Mm-hmm.
decided he was going to punish me.
Mm-hmm.
And I immediately told him, no, I will punish myself. And he looked at me and he was like,
I don't know how to respond to that either.
Okay.
Yeah.
and then I showed up. I was in my car at the facility at 6 a.m. every morning. And I told him, I said, I will be here at 6 a.m. every morning. We started training at 8. I will be here 2 hours early for the rest of this week. So I'm apologize for being late. I'm sorry. I was here an hour and a half ago, but I didn't know where I was going. Pre-GPS, right?
Right.
Okay. So boom. Everybody in my platoon came in to me and said, man, I'm never going to be late. And I was, like, I had been around. I wasn't like a junior dude then, even though I was at AOSC. I had done a ship for 2 years.
Right.
And they were like, yeah, I don't want this punishment.
Right.
Right.
And you did it to yourself.
So I knew that it was appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
But I would flip that around on him. Like, what are you going to do? You're late today. What are you going to do?
Just flip it.
Yeah. Because in a situation like yours,
Mm-hmm.
as much as that dude's in charge, I have to train him to be in charge.
Right.
Especially in high school, right?
Sure.
I was a phenomenal leader in high school. I had no clue the powers that I had.
Right.
But I didn't know. I didn't know that I could drive the bus anywhere I wanted to drive it.
Right.
Right? I just knew that, like, when I could get points scored on us on offense. And then my senior, I'm in the state championship game, it cost us because I said, hey, throw me a pass.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We threw an interception, dude returned it for 60 yards. We tackled him, but, like, I should have said, run outside or run option my way and I'll reach the defensive end no matter where he is.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been more fruitful.
Right.
But I was thinking, man, we can't score no points. They never throw balls to me. I've caught one pass. I've had 2 pass attempts. I dropped one and caught one.
Right.
Right? All season. And then whether I didn't run the route fast enough or the quarterback wasn't ready for my slow speed, threw interception. Right? But I didn't know the power that I had. And then when I got to the Naval Academy, I started to figure it out.
Right. So one of the challenges, like, there's definitely making me reflect, and I definitely appreciate that. These told you the mixture of kids I have.
Okay.
Small amount. So we got to be elite just based on the amount of kids.
How many kids you got on your team?
We had 29 this year. We're 118, so we're a tiny
Because I was
school.
118 in Washington State. We had 18.
And then I think we got down to 26 because 3 drop out, and then with the injury,
We had 4 freshmen under 100 pounds that the coach wouldn't let on the field. Even when we tried to sneak on the field, he called timeout.
Yeah, we that's funny.
We have 4 freshmen, 100 pounds.
So I've got these kids, and you understood. You're a smart guy. You understand the diversity of it.
Mm-hmm.
SEALs, they talk about being comfortable being uncomfortable. It's like a common phrase.
Okay.
I have kids that are very comfortable. So I guess what I'm saying is they're not even like ready ready for that. I have to convince them how being uncomfortable is going to help them. Does that make sense? It's kind of a struggle.
The rich kids?
Yeah.
Okay, so the rich kids are always a struggle, bud.
Yeah. Just the way it is.
It's just the way it is. I went to number 2 high school in the country, bud.
Yeah.
Charles Wright Academy, man. Like,
it's hard to convince a kid that.
Like, I beat up the bully so bad. The bully was 6'4", 245. I was 165. And he had been the bully of the private school his whole life.
So you're just saying that's a hard sell.
That's a hard sell. Right? Now, I can, at my school, Bo Bruskin was tough as nails. Mm-hmm. Had a lot of money. Right. Marvin Tomarovic's dad was a doctor. He was tough. Mm-hmm. Okay? But then you had kind of some middle of the road dudes.
Right.
And then there was the 5 of us they recruited that year.
Right.
All of us from blue collar families. All of us were tough. Okay? But there was a bunch of kids, and I could say his name, but then I had to cut my video.
Right.
His dad gave him $500,000 on his 16th birthday and disowned him.
What?
Okay?
That's insane.
Now, he was tough.
Right.
But he also lived in a $200,000 house by himself, drove a 454, had a brand new Mustang, like...
Because he had the struggle or whatever, right? Just did that with his dad?
Yeah, but he was relatively tough.
Right.
Fast forward, Jason Conley's dad was worth $800 million. Mm-hmm. Soft as butter.
Right.
Okay, but they were all tough in their little microcosm. Mm-hmm. But they weren't really tough. And so that's why I say to you, like, dude, but you got what's the demographic of the no money kids?
Oh, it's pretty much black.
And tough? Because if they come out of Urbana, they ain't necessarily tough.
That's where I was at for 8 years. No, trust me, I know. See, we got there's about 3 from Urbana, but they're
so what? Let me ask you this: what have you done to make them harder? Look, we don't have spring ball here, right? Like.
So here's one of the challenges of the place. Okay. Historically, the weight room is where I think you develop a lot of mental toughness and confidence. That's a little bit tougher at a small school because they're playing 3 sports, many of which is like basketball, baseball, which, no offense, those don't build as much mental toughness as like wrestling or track.
No question. There's zero mental toughness. Basketball players.
So basically what I'm telling you is I have 24, 25 days in the summer.
That's it.
To get it done, plus fall camp.
So you're not getting, I guess my question is, like, in my high school, we had PE period.
See, here's the difference. I was the head coach at Urbana for eight years.
Okay.
And best team in school history, worst team in school history. I lived that. I was at Midwest Prep. I resigned from Urbana. It's funny. I watched your thing about like CPAP and all that. Mm-hmm. Like, what retired me was migraines. I thought it was stress. It was sleep apnea. I was having like really And so once I figured that out, I went to prep school, which was not a good fit for me. Like, you got to get along with the boss, right? If you get along with Coach Smith, it's not gonna flow, right? Well, then I was actually going to take a year off, which was hard, and then I felt like God called me to St. Thomas More because it's my church now. Okay. God doesn't always give you something that's easy, right?
Like He gives you what you can handle, not what you want.
Right. And it's been challenging. And so now we're here, and I've got all these unique challenges, and I've worked through the ones because I'm at 18. I've been doing this for 18 years.
Mm-hmm.
I got some experience. Like, I've worked through the stuff I know.
You're in the Navy,
right? And I'm trying to. I've got 24 days in the summer. Okay. They don't have to be there. You can't hold them accountable. No, you got to convince them.
Yeah.
And then.
So you want to have an army this year that I think is absolutely amazing. So it's voluntary. Mm-hmm. Kid didn't show up the first 3 days of voluntary summer lifting. Mm-hmm. Head coach suspended him through the 3rd football game.
Monken? My head coach was a Monken in Charleston. Bill Monken, his uncle. That's crazy. Small world, yeah.
Jeff suspended him.
Jeff's a great guy, man.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Awesome. But, like, that's the kind of, like, where are you going to toe the party line, right? Like, but here's what I'll tell you.
I think it's an IHSA rule here, though.
No. I'm just saying, I'm not saying you can use that, but I'm just saying, like, you get the right leader, and you say your first task is to get all 26 guys here. Tell me what 3 days all 26 of you can be here. Because can you do skelly and stuff like that in the summer?
We can do everything but full contact. We can do, we're usually there 4 hours. We usually come in, talk about practice with, start practice with a prayer. Like I try to like give them like an intro.
Wait, I'm talking about for the 27 days in the summer.
Yeah, I could work them about 24 hours.
You can practice?
Like, other than full contact. We can do everything but full like you can do anything and that's the thing. I'm trying to brainstorm ideas.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna tell you. Okay, 4 hours you're killing them.
Okay.
They have a 0.5 second time span of attention right now.
Right.
That's a proven fact. 0.5 seconds.
How can you do anything in the world with 0.5?
That's what they got.
I know. I believe it. It's just it's crazy. It blows my mind.
So and I tell people this, if you have them more than an hour and a half, you're not getting anything out of them.
We've been going about 2. And I used to be crazy. We used to go 3.
But
in the day,
you have to just pick. I call it microwaving them. Like when they get there, it's 5 million until they leave.